Hi, grade 8. This is a math video for your test, which is basically chapter 6, form 2B this time. It looks something like this puppy right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about some problems that might seem difficult to you. Maybe they won't, I don't know. But just picking out certain individual problems and working out similar problems to them to give you an idea how to solve the one that you're facing. I'm looking at number 1 right off the bat where it talks about 6 cups compared to 4 quarts. And they want you to write it as a fraction in simplest form there. I'm not going to do that one. But what if it said, say, 6 cups compared to 10 quarts? How would I do that? Well, first, I'd write it vertically as a fraction, because we know we have to have a fraction sooner or later. Okay? And then I'd think about what I know about cups and quarts. I know that for every quart, there is 2 cups. For every quart, there's 2 cups. 2 cups equals a quart. And so I'm going to change this to 20 cups so that I can match the same label with the 6 cups. And then I'm going to simplify it. And in this particular case, the answer is off the board. Way to go. So I'm going to change the cups, or the quarts into cups. So 6 cups over 10 quarts is the same exact thing as 6 cups over 20 cups, because 20 cups is 10 quarts. And then I simplify it down to 3/10. That's what they're looking for in number 1, something similar to that. Okay? Let's jump to number 2. Number 2. How do we change something into a unit rate? For example, let's say I bought 5 pounds, not 8 pounds, 5 pounds of coffee, and I spent $20 on that 5 pounds of coffee. What's the unit rate for this particular circumstance? 5 pounds for $20. Well, first, I would write it as a fraction. And then, if I want it as a unit rate, that means changing it so that 1 is the denominator. Notice it's money over pounds in this case. Solve this, and of course the answer would be $4 a pound. And it's the whole thing that is the answer here. Now, they didn't write your answers as fractions. They wrote them more like this. They wrote something like $4 vertical or forward slash, and then they wrote what? Pound. But guess what? This is this. This is really $4 over the top of 1 pound. It's the same thing. It's the fraction form of $4 over 1 pound. Let's see. What am I going to go to next? How about number 10? Number 10. What if somebody said to you, hey, I've got 42 out of 80 marbles that are red. So my problem's slightly different. And I'm looking for the percent value of that. What's the percent value of 42 out of 80? If I were doing that, I'd just simply turn it into a fraction that has 100 as its denominator, and I would solve for x. I don't know what that is. So I'm going to have to work it out. 80 goes into that 5 times with a remainder. Now 80 goes into that 2 times. 80 goes at 5 times. Oh, that's 52.5%. Because remember, when we find this number over 100, that number is the percent value. So I came up with 52.5% on that particular problem. Okay. How about we turn the page? Number 12 might be interesting. 0.5% of 385, and number 12 they're telling you to estimate. Again, I'm not going to do this one, but I'll do one similar. What if it said 0.5% of, say, 709? 0.5% of 709. Well, the first thing I would do is I would think about 1% of 700. 1% of 700. And I know that 1% of 700 is the number 7. Where did I get that from? 1 over 100 times 700 over 1 gives me that. Now, if that's true, I know that this is half of this number. So why don't I just take this number and divide by 2? And I get 3.5 as my answer, right? 7 is 1% of 700. So 1/2% of 700 would have to be about 3.5. We're only looking for an estimation there. Okay. How about something like number 20? Number 20 says, out of a group of 400 commuters, how many would you expect to say that their commute is longer than 20 minutes? If you look at the chart says people having a commute that's longer than 20 minutes, that would be the people that are from 20 to 45, but it would also be the people that are over 45. So that means you'd have to add those two percentages, and I get 31%. Okay, I get 31%. Now, how many people are in the group that you're talking to? You're talking to 400 people. So in my mind, I'm thinking 31% of 400 people. Does that make sense? Now, I'm not going to do this problem because that's your deal to solve that. But what if I had 31% of, say, 800? How would I do that? Or 900? How would I do that? Well, first, I'd change this to 3/10 because that's much easier to work with, and it's very close to 31%, according to that table we were talking about, right? This could be thought of as 30 over 100, which simplifies to 3 over 10, and then I just multiply by 900. What would I get? I'd get 270 out of that after doing some cross-simplifying and some multiplying. Okay? Hopefully this helps you, 8th graders, but ask me questions if you got them.